Almost everything you think you know about Cleopatra is wrong. Forget the seductress on a golden bed, the woman who supposedly ruined two great Romans with her beauty. The real Cleopatra was something far more dangerous. She was a political genius who spoke 9 languages, commanded a navy, ran the richest kingdom on earth, and very nearly took control of Rome itself. The story you were told was written by the man who destroyed her, and he had every reason to lie. This is the true story of the last pharaoh of Egypt. Start with the biggest surprise of all. Cleopatra was not Egyptian, she was Greek. Her family, the Ptolemies, were descended from one of Alexander the Great's generals who seized Egypt after Alexander died. For nearly 300 years, this Macedonian Greek dynasty ruled Egypt, and they were so proud, so aloof, that almost none of them ever bothered to learn the Egyptian language. Cleopatra was the very first. She learned to speak like her subjects. Worshipped as their pharaoh and presented herself as the living goddess Isis. To Egypt, the Greek girl became their queen. To understand her, picture Alexandria, her city. It was the greatest city in the world, greater even than Rome. Its harbor was guarded by the lighthouse, one of the 7 wonders. Its great library held the collected knowledge of the ancient world. Its streets ran with the wealth of the Nile, grain that fed whole empires. But the Ptolemy family that ruled it was a nest of vipers. They murdered, married, and betrayed one another for power, brother against sister, mother against son. Cleopatra grew up watching her own family kill each other for the throne. She learned the rules of that game young, and she learned them better than anyone. When her father died, Cleopatra was 18. By his will, she was forced to share the throne with her younger brother, a boy of 10 whom she was also expected to marry. It did not last. The boy's advisors, powerful men who wanted to rule through a child, drove Cleopatra out of Alexandria. She fled into the desert, raised an army of her own, and prepared to take her kingdom back by force. She was barely 21, an exile with a price on her head, and then into Egypt. Sailed the most powerful man in the world. His name was Julius Caesar. He had come chasing a defeated rival into Egypt, and he found a kingdom tearing itself apart. Whoever Caesar backed would win the throne. Cleopatra could not simply walk into her own palace. Her brother's men would kill her on sight, so she did something audacious. She had herself wrapped inside a bundle of bedding, smuggled past the guards, and carried into Caesar's private chambers. When the sack was untied, out stepped the Queen of Egypt. Caesar, a man who had conquered half the known world, was utterly captivated, not by her beauty alone, but by her nerve, her wit, and her mind. With Caesar's legions behind her, Cleopatra crushed her enemies and took back her throne. Her brother drowned in the Nile fleeing the battle. She and Caesar became lovers, and she bore him a son she named Caesarion, Little Caesar. She sailed to Rome itself and lived in Caesar's villa, a foreign queen flaunted before a republic that despised kings. Romans whispered that Caesar meant to make himself a monarch, with this Egyptian queen at his side. That fear helped sharpen the daggers. In 44 BC, Caesar was stabbed to death on the Senate floor. And Cleopatra, suddenly exposed, slipped quietly back to Egypt to wait and to watch. Caesar's death split the Roman world between 2 men, his young heir Octavian, cold and calculating, and his charismatic general, Mark Antony. Antony took command of Rome's east, and he summoned the Queen of Egypt to answer for herself. Cleopatra understood theater as well as politics. She arrived at the meeting on a barge with a gilded stern and purple sails, fanned by servants dressed as cupids, perfumed so the whole riverbank could smell it. Reclining beneath a canopy of gold as if she were Venus herself. Antony had summoned a subject. Instead, he met a goddess. He never really recovered. What followed was one of history's great alliances, and one of its great love affairs. Antony spent his winters in Alexandria, and Cleopatra gave him what Rome never could: wealth beyond counting, a fleet, and a partner who was his equal in ambition. Together they dreamed of an empire of the East, ruled from Alexandria, not Rome. They had 3 children. Antony began handing Roman territories to Cleopatra and her sons in lavish public ceremonies. To Cleopatra, it was the rebirth of a great kingdom. But to Rome, it looked like treason, a Roman general giving away the empire to a foreign queen. Octavian saw his chance. He could not openly attack a fellow Roman, so instead he waged war with words. He painted Antony as a man bewitched, drunk on Eastern luxury, enslaved by a scheming foreign seductress who meant to destroy Rome. He seized what he claimed was Antony's will and read it aloud with its plans to be buried in Egypt beside her. Rome was horrified. This is where the lie was born, the image of Cleopatra as a dangerous temptress. Manufactured by a master of propaganda to justify the war he wanted. Then Octavian declared that war carefully, not on Antony, but on Cleopatra, Queen of Egypt. The 2 sides met at sea, off the coast of Greece, near a place called Actium in 31 BC. It should have been a clash of titans. Instead, it was a disaster. Octavian's brilliant admiral Agrippa trapped and outmaneuvered Antony's heavier fleet. As the battle turned, Cleopatra's squadron broke away and sailed for Egypt, and Antony, abandoning his own men, followed her. Whatever the reason, it looked like flight. Their navy was shattered, their armies melted away. And the dream of an Eastern empire died on the water at Actium. There was now only one master of the Roman world, and he was coming for them. A year later, Octavian's legions reached the gates of Alexandria. Antony's remaining troops deserted him. Believing a false report that Cleopatra was already dead, the great general fell on his own sword. He did not die at once. Bleeding, he was carried to where Cleopatra had barricaded herself, and he died in her arms. The queen was now a prisoner in her own city, in the power of the one man she could neither charm nor defeat. Octavian had no interest in her words. He wanted only one thing: to drag the Queen of Egypt through the streets of Rome in chains, the ultimate trophy of his triumph. Cleopatra would not be anyone's trophy. She understood exactly what waited for her in Rome, and she refused it. On a day in August 30 BC, she dressed in her full royal robes, lay down upon a golden couch, and died on her own terms. Legend says she was killed by the bite of an asp, a venomous snake smuggled in with a basket of figs, but many historians doubt it. A snake bite is slow and uncertain, and Cleopatra was far too careful for that. More likely she used a swift, reliable poison she had studied for years. Either way, the meaning was the same. The last pharaoh chose death as a queen rather than life as a slave. With her death, 3 centuries of Ptolemaic rule ended, and Egypt, the oldest kingdom on earth, became just another Roman province. The age of the pharaohs was over. Octavian became Augustus, the first Roman emperor, and he made sure history remembered Cleopatra as he wanted, a dangerous seductress, not the brilliant ruler who had nearly outplayed him. For 2,000 years, the propaganda held, but look past it. And you find one of the most capable rulers of the ancient world, a woman who held the most powerful men of her age as equals, and went down fighting to the very end. That was the real Cleopatra. If you want more true stories behind the legends, subscribe and stay with Henry Vale.